Hey guys, MoiDawg here, and I'm just as surprised at the title of this video as you guys probably are. It's Saturday. I don't usually make videos on a Saturday. If I do ever post videos on a Saturday, it's because I had actually scheduled it, but I'm usually with my kids. We're hanging out, we're doing family stuff. We had just come back from a morning at the library, actually, reading some kids' books and just having fun, having some snacks, Paw Patrol, you know how it is. And somebody pinged me on my Discord saying that, why did Squad leak the Turkish faction? I have no idea where this even began, and I actually had to get linked to the Squad developer Q&A for September 2023, which is this blog post here, which is on your screen. One, I'm surprised they posted something on a Saturday. Two, it's apparently all the way at the bottom of this blog post, like kind of sneaky here. So the blog post itself, you can see they have a player model here, and they have just a small little snapshot, I guess, of a rifle. And that was it. This is all that the person in Discord, Leffy, he just saw this and he goes, I recognize that helmet and I recognize this rifle. This is a Turkish faction. Okay, we'll get to that in a second, but this blog post as a whole kind of took me by surprise. The devs about a month ago, I think, like really at the start of September, they said, hey, post some questions in our forums and we'll answer them in a blog post. And one, some of these questions are, I think, good questions. I think they actually add to a lot of maybe some insight on Squad's development over the past year. And then other questions, they seem kind of softball. You know, will you keep updating the game for the next 2 years? No plans on stopping. Are you going to look at working on the game's optimization in the near future? Of course they want to, but thankfully, you know, they do go on in depth by saying, of course, we want to do it more and tackling things like VRAM and adding DirectX 12, which, let's be honest, DirectX 12 more often than not in current Squad causes more problems. And I actually think I still got some artifacts and issues in the playtest with DirectX 12 on. So, you know, it was... I scanned it. I was trying to see if there was anything really, really important in terms of enlightening us when it comes to new factions and stuff. And there really wasn't anything, I guess, aside from right here, where it says, besides the infantry combat overhaul, what else are you looking to add? And the biggest, or I guess most requested item by far from people in the community is adding destruction. And the devs here, I don't think that they're actually going to add destruction. They say they want to add it. The main issue Squad currently runs is the need for performant tooling to do this in a live environment, which currently restricts us to the prefabricated destruction setups in our environments. The need to replicate the destruction to all players would also stress the servers, affecting performance. So to me, this is saying, of course we want to add it, but we literally cannot. So this to me says, you know, hey, if we come up with a Squad 2, we're adding destruction, but Squad itself is not going to add it. And then one thing else, let's see here. Can we expect an updated roadmap? This is something also people have asked for, because if they had a roadmap, we could actually see and confirm that, hey, it looks like maybe we're getting more NATO forces, maybe we are getting Turkey, and we can hold the devs accountable. However, the devs kind of answer that in the way that I thought they would answer, is that every time that they've added a roadmap, instead of turning into something that is exciting, they've actually kind of hurt themselves, because devs and dev work in general in the gaming community is very... let's just say timeliness is not their forte. It's not necessarily their fault. You know, things come up, but I think Squad missed every single deadline in their last roadmap, which I'll pop up here on screen so that way you can see it. Everything on this roadmap, except for maybe like one thing early on, was missed. You know, you had Pan-Asia, which turned out to be China, was delayed way too long. Marines, I think, were delayed a year. Everything was delayed. So Once again, this is an answer, but a non-answer, saying you're not going to get a roadmap, but trust me, we're going to get some stuff. Our goal is to ensure that the community feels engaged and involved. To achieve this, we're actively exploring alternatives to a public roadmap, which may include emphasizing other aspects like dev blogs, public testing, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. So this, I think, is behind-the-scenes sneak peek. I think this directly relates to what people are now saying is Turkey. If I see this right here, it doesn't jump out to me as Turkey, but then again, I'm not too familiar with the Turkish armed forces. It just looks like I guess the actual name for this combat helmet is the modular combat helmet. I think I have a link up here so that way you guys can see it. Yeah, this is the Turkish helmet, the modular combat helmet, and as you can see, U.S. Forces on the left, Turkish armed forces on the right, and that helmet is pretty much a like for like. I mean, it has, oh, and then that's the rifle here. I'll show it in a second. But aside from, maybe the, I don't know. I mean, you could probably have different variants, but in general, it looks pretty similar. You got the front mount, you got the sides, and it's more or less bang on for what would be for Turkish armed forces. Now, to me, this just looks like standard type of armor, plate carriers, magazines. I mean, a backpack. None of this screams Turkey, but apparently this helmet to Leffy screamed Turkey. Now, I think what made it scream Turkey even more is that this helmet is also tied into this rifle, which he immediately said was the MPT 76. And I mean, it looks like an HK. And apparently the MPT 76, if we actually compare it to the weapon here, which is an actual shot of it here. First, the big things that stand out to me is this kind of opaque magazine, right? So you have the opaque magazine, a little see-through here, but you also have the way that they have the lettering on it right here. Arms factory made in Yakisoba. Obviously, this is not true. I also like the pew and no pew for fire and safety here. But a lot of this, it kind of looks similar, but really, when you start looking at the top of the rifle, where you would get some optics, you're getting a lot of similarities, and we see very similar. Did they actually even have iron sights up? Yeah, so they do have the iron sights. So iron sight on iron sight, it's actually perfect here, and I'll just do this side by side so you can see. Very, very similar, if not exactly the same. And I think, more or less, the more I look at this, the more I see that this is probably the MPT 76. Additionally, it is a 7.62 by 51 millimeter, and you can see using 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO standard ammunition. MPT 76 series passed 42 difficult tests successfully. Yada yada. So I also see that it has the collapsible stock, or I guess adjustable stock rather, not collapsible. Adjustable stock here. You can see just the tail end of it. The pistol grip looks very similar. Everything I think adds up. So looking at this without the knowledge, I guess, that Leffy has, that he knows about Turkey and Turkish weapons, this actually to me screams Turkey. And what also will be interesting is you can see here this variant actually has a carry handle attached to the railing. I think just in these pictures we can see the rifleman variants. So you have the carry handle with iron sights. I would not be surprised if they added that. Then you also have optics here, and you have the bipod foregrip. They have actually this in squads. The British faction, the squad leader actually has a foregrip bipod, so it could be very similar. And then I think they had some different optics here. No, these are all iron sights. But you also have, this is what it was, the same type of color. You got that kind of tan. This soldier here in the middle He has a tan variant, and it looks pretty similar to the coloring that you'd have in this rifle here. So I'm shocked. I'm kind of flabbergasted that they even leaked something like this that would show to I guess a knowledgeable person that they that they could just say, yep, this is Turkey 100%. And after listening to them, I do agree that it is Turkey. Now with that also brings into question some of the other other munitions that they might have. I mean, they use the US mortar tubes. I mean, they have a lot of NATO equipment, obviously. So we could see some similarities. I mean, the same grenades, same smoke, same mines. The things like this here, I mean, different grenade launchers. It would be interesting if they had some other variants of these, these HKs. I don't know. I mean, I know Squad has done some crazy things before. I mean, you have these varying grenade launchers. They even have a handheld grenade launcher. The Carl Gustav, as well as some RPGs. So maybe a nice combination would be cool. But of course, they use the ATGM and the Cornet. Conkers. It's a weird combination of West and East. And that also calls into question, are they going to be fighting the US in Squad? They shouldn't, right? They're NATO. So they should actually be blue 4. I would be very surprised if Squad added another blue 4 before they added another red 4, but we just got 2 red 4s, right? We got China, and then we got, I guess, Chinese Marines. Then we got the VDV, so technically 3 recently. So maybe it is time for another blue 4. I mean, this blue 4 does have blue 4 standard rifles, right? You don't have the M4, the M16s, if we're going with this MPT variant. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Does this look like Squad is actually going to be released in Turkey? Right out the gate, I saw this and I just thought, okay, cool, new rifle. It looks like an HK. Maybe Germany. I just glanced at it. I had no idea. But the longer I look at it, the longer I do the research for it, I think I'm sold. I think it's Turkey. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any more information on these rifles, I know we have a very international community. A lot of people in the comments have said before that they've served in the Australian Army, to the German Army, to, of course, American, Canada. If maybe you are a part of the Turkish Armed Forces, or you know somebody who has, or maybe you've even trained with them, let me know if any of this looks familiar to you. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, maybe we're going to get Infantry Combat Overhaul soon, as in, what we got now, 3 days or whatever it is, and then Turkey in the upcoming months as well. That'd be a huge update cycle for Squad. But that's it for me. Until next time, peace.